I just thought I'd say this. When I go to the Highway 61 Revisited Wikipedia page, it says you visit often. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to Lee Reacts. Hope everyone's having a good day. I know, I am. And we're back to finish up Highway 61 Revisited. The last two tracks. Just like Tom Thumb's Blues. That's the first one, right? Yep, and then the second one is Desolation Row, which has been requested on a lot of Bob Dylan videos that I've done for a long time. So I'm very excited to get to that one finally. It's kind of a long one too, so strap yourselves in. This is courtesy of our Alpha Patron Joel. See, my brain always switches the first and the third. He has sponsored all the Dylan videos we've done so far, basically, and I really appreciate that. He has introduced me to a treasure. An American treasure, a world treasure, honestly. And he's still kicking and still going. Good for him, man. Good for him. Alright, here we go. If y'all want to subscribe to help brother out, click that icon right below my face. I'm going to link my Bob Dylan playlist up there if you want to go watch it. There's lots of stuff on there. I really enjoy this man. Alright. Just like Tom Thumb's Blues by Bob Dylan. Don't forget to like and subscribe. 3, 2, 1, go!
Lost in the rain in Juarez when it's Easter time too, and your gravity fails and negativity don't pull you through. Don't put on any airs when you're down on Rue Morgue Avenue. They got some hungry women there, and they really make a mess out of you. Now, if you see St. Annie, please tell her thanks a lot. I cannot move, my fingers are all in a knot. Don't have the strength to get up and take another shot. And my best friend, my doctor, won't even say what it is I got.
Piano.
Sweet Melinda, the peasants call her the goddess of gloom. She speaks good English and she invites you up into her room.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And you're so kind and careful not to go to her too soon. And she takes your voice and leaves you howling at the moon. Up on Housing Project Hill, it's either fortune or fame. You must pick one or the other, though neither of them ought to be what they claim. If you're looking to get silly, you better go back to from where you came. Because the cops don't need you, and man, they expect the same.
Super Session and Bob Dylan. What an idea.
All the authorities, they just stand around and boast how they blackmailed the sergeant at arms into leaving his post. And picking up Angel, who just arrived here from the coast, who looked so fine at first but left looking just like a ghost. but soon hit the harder stuff. Everybody said they'd stand behind me when the game got rough.
I love the bowl in his hand.
But the
My
joke
man.
was on me, there was nobody even there to bluff.
I had a couple of those.
I'm going back to New York City, I do believe I've had enough.
I'm ready to go home. Ready to leave home. In honor of this album, I made sure to go smoke a doobie before this because I knew Desolation Row was going to be crazy. Here we go. I wanted to be in the right mindset for this album.
They're selling postcards of the hanging. They're painting the passports brown. The beauty parlor is filled with sailors. The circus is in town. Here comes the blind commissioner. They've got him in a trance.
That guitar,
One
oh my
hand
god.
is tied to the tightrope walker. The other is in his pants. And the riot squad, they're restless. They need somewhere to go. As Lady and I look out tonight from Desolation Row. Cinderella, she seems so easy. It takes one to know one. She smiles and puts her hands in her back pocket, Betty Davis style. And in comes Romeo,
Charlie McCoy
he's moaning,
on guitar.
you belong to me, I believe. And someone says you're in the wrong place, my friend. You'd better leave. And the only sound that's left after the ambulances go is Cinderella sweeping up on Desolation Row.
Oh, it's so good.
Now the moon is almost hidden. The stars are beginning to hide. The fortune-telling lady has even taken all her things inside.
Storm's coming.
All except for Cain and Abel and the hunchback of Notre Dame. Everybody is making love or else expecting rain. And the good Samaritan, he's dressing, he's getting ready for the show. He's going to the carnival tonight on Desolation Row.
So good.
Ophelia, she's neath the window.
Ophelia.
For her I feel so afraid. On her 22nd birthday, she already is an old maid. To her death is quite romantic. She wears an iron vest. Her profession's her religion. Her sin is her lifelessness. And though her eyes are fixed upon Noah's great rainbow. She spends her time peeking into Desolation Row. Einstein disguised as Robin Hood, with his memories in a trunk, passed this way an hour ago with his friend, a jealous monk. Now he looked so immaculately frightful as he bummed a cigarette. Then he went off sniffing drain pipes and reciting the alphabet. You
Good cigarette.
would not think to look at him, but he was famous long ago for playing the electric violin on Desolation Row. Dr. Filth, he keeps his world inside of a leather cup, but all his sexless patients, they are trying to blow it up.
I wonder if that's Bob and Charlie McCoy playing. I'm guessing.
Loser. She's in charge of the cyanide hole,
It's lyrics.
and she also keeps the cards that read "Have mercy on his soul." They all play on the penny whistle. You can hear them blow if you lean your head out far enough from Desolation Row. Across the street, they've nailed the curtains. They're getting ready for the feast. The phantom of
It's 8th
the
Avenue in Manhattan.
opera,
Okay.
in a perfect
Maybe.
image of a priest. They are spoon-feeding Casanova to get him to feel more assured.
I get that.
Then they'll kill him with self-confidence after poisoning him with words. And the phantom shouting to skinny girls, "Get out of here if you don't know." Casanova is just being punished for going to Desolation Row. At midnight, all the agents and the superhuman crew come out and round up everyone that knows more than they do. Then they bring them to the factory where the heart attack machine is strapped across their shoulders, and then the kerosene is brought down from the castles by insurance men who go check to see that nobody is escaping to Desolation Row.
This is incredible, bro.
Praise be to Nero's Neptune. The Titanic sails at dawn. Everybody is shouting, "Which side are you on?" And Ezra Pound and T.S. Eliot fighting in the captain's tower, while calypso singers laugh at them and fishermen hold flowers. Between the windows of the sea where lovely mermaids flow, and nobody has to think too much about Desolation Row. received your letter yesterday about the time the doorknob broke. When you asked me how I was doing, was that some kind of joke? All these people that you mentioned, yes, I know them, they're quite lame. I had to rearrange their faces and give them all another name.
Oh, wow.
Right now, I can't read too good. Don't send me no more letters, no. Not unless you mail them from Desolation Row.
Sorry. I just needed a second there. That was the most sad yet most beautiful thing I think I've ever heard in my life. And I've heard a lot on here, you know. I really have, and that was utterly fantastic. I liked Tom Thumb's Blues, or Tom's whatever, but wow, I see why that's one of his best. That is so much better than Sad Eyed Lady of the Lowlands, for like his longer compositions. That had so much life, and it felt like not even death, but endings and new doors opening. What I feel like this whole album was, and it's funny because I connect to it so well because it's my story too of running away from home and then going on some crazy ass journey to get where you're going, you know, or where you think you want to go. And then you get there and then you realize that, you know, the whole point of the journey was the journey and that you just want to go back home, you know. And I feel like Bob, you know, ran away so many times and then he finally got what he wanted, you know. He ran off. He became a legendary musician. He literally lived the definition of the American dream, basically. Even though he came from humble beginnings, he rose to stardom. And I feel like this is, as it's called, Highway 61 Revisited. And what kind of gave it away for me was in actually the last song, in Tom Thumb's Blues, he mentioned something about going to New York. And then I read that Desolation Row is supposedly 8th Ave and Midtown or whatever. So it's like he went on this journey through this entire album with all these stops, with all these characters and different stories and such. And I know it's not like exactly like a concept album. This is just kind of how my brain puts it together. And then he gets to New York and he sees that it's, you know, not what he thought it was. You know, he ran away from home to get, you know, away from himself. And that's, you know, wherever you go, you follow, you know, and that's something you learn in like recovery. It's no matter where you go, you can, you know, change people, places and things, but no matter where you go, you take yourself with you. So it all depends on you first and then worry about everything else. And I feel like Bob went on a journey and he got to where he, you know, wanted to go. And he realized it wasn't what it was all meant, you know, or cocked up to be, basically, you know. And it turns out that, you know, Desolation Row is actually Desolation Row, you know. And it's a bunch of debauchery, sadness, loneliness, and emptiness that, you know, people just trying to fill all kinds of holes, just trying to feel better. Physically and mentally, literally. And it's sad that, you know, and he just uses New York as an example or whatever. It's what it feels like. But And even in those places, those people that are going through all that, you know, they live there and that's their lives, you know, and I was there, you know. I lived in Desolation Row, but it wasn't exactly the one he's talking about. But, and I've seen some stuff that I can't say on the internet. That one would be a little, it'd probably be a little too far. I have a few stories like that, to be honest. But, you know, I tell y'all as much as I think is acceptable on here, but just know that your boy's been through some stuff that it's not internet appropriate, and definitely seen my fair share of Desolation Row that I never want to go back, to be honest, because it's a terrible place. And I don't know, but I feel like Bob got to the end of his journey and just wanted to go back to the beginning. And like that last section there with the harmonica, it kind of felt like a recap of the entire album in a way, and the entire journey down Highway 61, you know, figuratively. And here we are. Man, I'm not gonna lie, that shit moved me to tears, bro, because I kind of, at least for my interpretation of it, once you put all the pieces together and it all makes sense. It's funny, that happened with the last one too. It all made sense at the end. Like the entire journey of the album, it all made sense in that last song. And it didn't. The last one didn't move me to tears like that, but it all made sense right there. That's so funny. But it's like when that moment clicks, you're just like, Jesus. It all makes sense. What a genius, you know. And I know that not everyone can appreciate Bob, you know, for what he is, which is probably one of the most treasured people. He should be of our generation, or you know, just this century, or you know. That doesn't even work because we're in a different century now. He's still alive, but you know what I mean. You get the gist. You know, he's just been around for a while. But what a treasure. Like, what an absolute wordsmith. The worlds that he makes just with words and a harmonica and acoustic guitar. And oh my God, that acoustic guitar in and Desolation Row. I mean, that was some of the most beautiful guitar playing I think I've ever heard in my life. I think that was Bob playing acoustic with Charlie McCoy, I believe was his name. If it'll go to it. Oh, no. Not that one. All the way down. Yeah, it's Mike Bloomfield on electric guitar. Charlie McCoy did guitar on Desolation Row. Al Cooper on the organ and piano. Paul Griffin, piano and organ. Oh, there you go. Frank Owens, piano. Harvey Brooks on bass. Russ Savicus did the upright bass on Desolation Row. It was Bobby Gregg on drums, Bruce Langhorne on trombone, and of course Bob Dylan on vocals, guitar, harmonica, piano, and the Acme Siren, which I think was last week's video. I mean, I'll read a little bit of what it says for Desolation Row. I kind of skimmed it while we were listening to it just so I could understand what he was talking about, and it all made sense. The second that they said that it was Manhattan that he was talking about, maybe, you know, I was like, oh, they just mentioned New York in the last song, so that made sense, and it all clicked for me there. So yeah, this was Dylan weaves characters into a series of vignettes that suggest entropy and urban chaos. When asked where Desolation Row was, he said, oh, that's someplace in Mexico. It's across the border. It's noted for its Coke factory. Al Cooper, though, suggested, who he played electric guitar on the first recordings of Desolation Row, suggested that it was 8th Ave in Manhattan, an area infested with whorehouses, sleazy bars, porno supermarkets, totally beyond renovation or redemption. Paul Lazzetti suggests that both the inspiration and title of the song may have come from Desolation Angels by Jack Kerouac and Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. When Jan Wenner asked Dylan in '69 whether Allen Ginsberg had influenced his songs, Dylan replied, I think he did at a certain period, that period of Desolation Row, that kind of New York type period where all the songs were just city songs. His poetry is city poetry and sounds like the city. Interesting. It's Robert Shelton. One of the targets of the song is simple-minded, a political commitment. What difference? Which side are you on if you're sailing on the Titanic? In an interview in 2001, Dylan claimed that the song is a minstrel song through and through. I saw some ragtag minstrel show in blackface at the carnivals when I was growing up, and it had an effect on me. just as much as seeing the lady with 4 legs. See, then you start rereading and it's just like different stuff over and over. Like, oh my god, oh whatever. I don't want to read too much into it, but I think that that was his best song that I've heard so far. Other than that, it still has, that didn't beat Mr. Tambourine Man. I don't think it might have, just on the emotional factor and his story being my story basically, and me running away and getting away, going on probably the journey of a lifetime. I'm gonna have to record a video one day and just sit down for like an hour and just explain it all. I don't know if anyone would want to watch it, but it's interesting, let's say the least. It's compelling. But you already know the ending, so it's not fair, but it'd be interesting. It just mirrors my life so much that it kind of, yeah, it definitely resonated with me on multiple levels, not only musically, but just emotionally, you know. And that's the first Bob Dylan song to do that, and I've listened to a lot of his catalog. I don't think one song has made me, you know, honestly cry. That's what that was. But it totally did. That guitar is what did it. And then a harmonica. When he knows what he's doing with that damn harmonica, bro. When he brings that shit in, he knows what he's doing, man. It's so powerful. Like he just knows when to use his instruments and his powers properly. You know what I mean? Throughout the song, there's many characters doing many things, and it does sound like a kind of unredeemable kind of place, but and I've seen places like that in the city, the multiple cities, and it's kind of scary that that's, you know, what life can lead to, you know, that turmoil and that uncertainty of that lifestyle. You know, it's scary. It really is. You don't know if you're gonna get shot. You don't know if you're gonna overdose. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a crazy life, and people choose to live it. People actively choose every day to live like that, and I did for a long time. And I'm glad that I got out of it, because, man, I wouldn't be alive. I really wouldn't. And I wouldn't have my beautiful girls. And, yeah, can't have that. So thank you, Joel. That was a wonderful, wonderful album. I would say Desolation Row, hands down, is my favorite track. And then Highway 61 Revisited would probably come in second. And then, would I put Like a Rolling Stone on there, too? I'm guessing Like a Rolling Stone would be third. Let me just double check. But yeah, but hands down, that guitar is my favorite part of that song. I mean, a good God, that was some of the most beautiful, sad shit I've ever heard in my life. It was so much cognitive dissonance with that guitar, and then playing off each other. I mean, it just sounded fantastic. It literally brought so much emotions like bubbling underneath to the surface, man. Just that guitar alone. See, damn, crying got me. Oh, that's hard. It's so hard to pick, man. Yeah, Desolation Row, Highway 61, From a Buick 6, Ballad of a Thin Man, Like a Rolling Stone. Man, what a classic album. Literally every single song is good. The only one, the one that I put at the bottom is Queen Jane, approximately, but it still was a good track, though. It was still solid. It just wasn't as good as the other ones. But Ballad of a Thin Man, absolute classic. Desolation Row, absolute classic. Highway 61, just amazing. I mean, this album, one of the best of all time, easily. And I can't wait to listen to it again. So, like I said, thank you, Joel. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to let y'all go. It's been long enough, so I'll see you later. Bye-bye. I forgot to say one thing. We have a really, really cool Patreon community. We'd love to have you. Come join us. There's a link in the description. If you join the $15 tier or up, you get one free request a month. There's a bunch of block videos and full album reactions on there. You can join any tier, get access to all that. You get access to our patrons-only Discord server. If you want to come chat, come vote on videos, whatever, we'd love to have you, like I said. And there's also a PayPal if you want to send a request or a tip in that way. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later.